Hi, guys. Another day, another confidence video. I'm here with Mitch again. And in this channel, I want to share with you how powerful, how perfect, and how amazing you already are in the present moment so that you get to not only choose, create the life of your dreams, but actually enjoy it. So, if you're coming back from our last videos, Mitch and I are having so much fun talking about, conscious reality creation, basically, fulfilling your dreams by being fulfilled now. Basically, the present moment is all there is, and how really you can actually have a beautiful, beautiful life right now, despite the circumstances and stories of the past. So, we're continuing our conversation.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you again, Steph. We have a great time today. Great topic. I think everyone will love.
Yeah, so we decided to speak on false idols, the concept of it's a biblical quote, right? Like basically do not idolize anything other than, the power that is, which is God in the Bible. But in the way that we understand it, you're an extension of the creative power of God, which lives within you, which means that you are the higher power in your life. You are the operative power. And anything else that you may see in the physical form of reflection is a false idol and it has no creative power whatsoever. But sometimes our little minds, and I say that with love, we have a little brain that is limited based on its conditioning. It gets hooked, right? It sees things throughout its lifetime through this beautiful experience, and it starts delegating its power, thinking that something has more of a final say than you as the upper power has in your life. And we want to delve in how these tricky situations can appear in your life and essentially how to get out of them.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really about knowing your true power, that you're giving it to yourself. There's no waiting. And that's really it. The moment you're waiting, you're suffering. There is no waiting because we're always entertaining the next moment, every moment of time. We've always done this. We simply weren't conscious to it. And the moment that you realize that I can entertain consciously, deliberately, then you're not waiting for anything outside you being the quote unquote false idol. The only idol is you worshiping yourself as the creator and not worshiping things created. So you're not worshiping things created. That's the false idol. Worshiping yourself as the creator because you're the only one giving meaning to everything. You're the only one entertaining anything, and you always have been, and you always believe what you entertain instantly. And the more that you do effortless believing in love and do loving types of um, feelings and thoughts and entertaining the next moment, then it becomes easier and easier. And you actually talk to yourself that it's easy because you realize how easy it is. And you realize that giving love to yourself is easy. That's why everything is easy. If we talk about easy, because giving love to yourself is easy. We thrive on it. That's what love does. And that's why it's easy, because how could it not be? I mean, we will take as much love as we want. Give me more. We won't stop it. We won't say, okay, too much love. No, infinite love thrives on infinite love. So that's why it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, that statement of everything being easy because even if at first it seemingly doesn't look that way, you're helping your mind and your body relax into it. You're relaxing like this is easy. And a big part of it too is like removing the merit and struggle. I think the ego loves to thrive on,
Mhm.
oh, I've done all this, and because I've done all this, I deserve all this, right? Like, and now you're associating a result of whatever experience you have in your life or an accolade, and you're like, I deserve this because I worked so hard for it. Where if you could just be like, remove that tension, right? Of course, there is merit in and being proud of your achievements. But if you're like, it was easy, things are easy for me. I can receive more and more and more. You start removing that association that things have to be hard for you to be able to enjoy them. Like, maybe you can enjoy things that show up out of nowhere. You can enjoy the kindness of the world, the support of your friends and family, and, just the support of even, like, just your imagination, right? Like, the fact that you have a beautiful mind that you can lead into creating beautiful scenes in your life. Can you appreciate that without even getting the result of it, without getting the physical result? And I think that makes you a really powerful person when you can self regenerate your own joy because now you're like not tethered to anything outside of yourself, these false idols, right? That you think you need to make you happy. You're like, wait, I'm whole and complete. I'm perfect as I am. I'm chosen because I choose myself. I'm valuable because I see my own value. And then from that, just beauty emerges, love emerges. It emerges from you, and you get to share it with the world, as opposed to like asking the world to accept you, begging the world to like confirm your value. And yeah,
Yeah, I think that's well said. With false idols, this entire relying and depending on something outside you, we get to this point, Steph, that we think we have to regulate. You were saying self reinforcement or self regulation, which does reinforce that believing in yourself. But then we get to the point where you're believing on something outside you to make you feel fulfilled. Now you get into this habit, okay, I got to regulate my nervous system. Regulating your nervous system is illusory
yeah,
because you've developed that from the false idols. So you've believed in relying and depending on someone or something to appear in order to make you feel something. So now you're sabotaged because you're waiting, and it's not you because love is who you are. It's easy to give that to yourself. It's easy to entertain something loving to yourself and not waiting for it. Seeing somebody thriving, seeing somebody happy, hearing them being thriving, hearing them, you know the tone of their voice. You do this regularly. You sometimes if you have a conversation that you don't like, which is waiting for them, kind of reconciling it in your mind, you're replaying that conversation over in your mind, so you know their voice. So you're realizing you're trying to heal. That's why you're playing it over. It's not you. Otherwise, we don't play conversations over. We just don't. And when a conversation goes well, we're not playing it over. We're playing it over to
mhm,
heal. We're playing it over to hear what we want. That's why we're playing it over. We're being compelled to be loved, to be easy. And then when you do that, it's easy because, I feel better instantly. So if we don't do that, if we waiting for the validation of that person to say, okay, we had a little conversation that didn't go well. I thought about it and you're right. And instead of waiting for all that, and then your nervous system being affected, and then now it's like, oh, I'm comfortable. Why did we have to have that kind of conversation? Now you think it's regulating your outside idol, your nervous system. That's only the effect.
yeah,
And that's that. And then when it happens, we believe, oh, it's my nervous system. I got to fix that. That's not the cause.
yeah,
The cause is you worshiping yourself. That's the cause. And once you realize that, then you're free. That's sheer power. And then you realize it's easy. Because if you go from, no more nervous system issues to peace and love, how could that not be easy?
yeah.
That's why we come up with easy, because you went from having to fix something to
Mhm.
now, it's resolved. I see it differently. I hear them happy. That's easy. I mean, you don't need a doctor. So you don't need pills, you don't need medication. So that just liberates you right away, and the only takeaway you have is that it's easy. And then when you say to yourself, "It's easy," now you believe in yourself because you're hearing it. When we talk, we're sending the word out, right? So when we come with the takeaway after we've gone through all that, and we realize it worked out, and then you say, "Yeah, it was easy." We hearing
Mhm.
ourselves say it's easy, and I mean, I can go so far as to say we need to hear ourselves saying is easy, but that's who we are. Our identity is
Yeah.
love, so it's not like we need to do it. We thrive on it. It's it's simply you thrive on it. It's bliss to feel that love. So, it's simple as that. and that there's no you don't have to make an excuse for talking this way. It's who you are. To deliberately not to give any deliberate meaning not to that is really being deliberately delusional because it's not who you are. If you're not being who you are, is that not delusional? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, the brain based on our memories, right? That can be let go right now, guys. Like when I say this, it's to kind of give it like some linearity, but you don't even need that. But because all is here right now. So the fact that you can see this video, that you're watching us talk about this, that means that you too understand that you are here with the best version of yourself, with all the things you want to experience, because as you want them, they're within you and they will be expressed. There's no but, if, and when. It's as you can see them within and you choose them, you select them, you don't really have to do anything. It's a matter of a beautiful unfolding, which is not even part of what you even need to do anything about. It all comes to you. It all shows up out of nowhere. And the previous mind, right? The conditioned mind, which again doesn't exist anymore, but I'm just saying that for reference point. In the world, it creates a lot of association sometimes where like I hear people talk about this all the time where it's like, oh, I'm healthy because X, Y, and Z. So now what are you doing? You're delegating your power. So now you have to abide by a special diet, a special schedule, a special something that you are creating an idol out of. And that is not what's giving you life. You are life itself. Your awareness, you're part of consciousness, the infinite being, all that is, everything everywhere all at once. That's everything. Then your awareness, what I describe as my attention, where I focus on, creates my linear path, seemingly linear, right? But it's happening around me right now. So if I'm saying like, attributing that something happened because of something external, your mind is going to grasp onto that really quickly. It's going to be like, oh, yes, I need to be healthier. So I need to drink all this water and all these vitamins, and I need to have the schedule and have these hours of sleep, which there's nothing wrong, of course, if you enjoy doing those things, but always with the understanding that you are the operant power and you get to decide and choose that you are infinitely healthy because that is your natural state. Health is life going through you. Everything else is a distorted illusion. And so is wealth. You're, you, a tree doesn't question itself whether it's worthy of growing all these branches and blooming. It doesn't. It just does it. And that's really our natural state is creative, and as we create, our lives expand. It goes back to more prosperity, more health, more love, more loving communities through your allowance of expansion. And it's really so simple because as you love and accept yourself, go back to the love and acceptance that you already are. You remove your attention from all those layers of, oh my God, there's not enough in the world. Oh my God, there's sickness or there's not enough in the economy. Guys, your attention is expansive. Your attention is always going to give you feedback on where you put it. You're creating that. And I know at first it sounds kind of trippy or like a hard pill to swallow because you're like, but I feel this pain. I felt neglected. There's so much pain. And you feel painful because it's not you. You're going out of the parameters of who you are. So it's like, yes, it feels terrible because that's not who you are. So stop focusing on that. Like drive your wheel. Bring your beautiful attention to nothing out here. None of these fake idols, not the boyfriend, the family member, the job, your boss, the economy, the government, the health reflection. They do not own you. They have no creative power whatsoever. And when the road splits and you see the option of like, this person hates me or the I'm getting a negative, review on my medical medical statement or financial statement, what are you going to choose? You're the driver. You can just be like, no, I choose the love that I am, that I know I am, the consistent overflow of prosperity and support. And that's where like the magic unfolds. Like it's always around you. Magic and miracles, like and that's so beautiful. And that's what I want to share with you guys. Like there is no lack. It's just in your imagination. And as you move your imagination, to the garden of thriving, everything's gonna bloom organically.
Mhm. It's so true. You know, when we say lack, it's not real. We think it's real,
Uh-huh.
but lack is not real because we don't prefer it. It's not really true. You know, you give the meaning you prefer. You know, when you feel that there's lack or anything that's not happening, you plant seeds, right? Just like a farmer, you plant the seeds of entertaining what you prefer. The farmer prefers to have the crops. He's not going to wait to plant the seeds. He's going to plant the seeds. And we plant the seeds the same way. And those seeds gather momentum, just like seeds in a ground that a farmer plants. The seeds gather momentum in the same way we talked about earlier, that, you know, it's easy. That's a seed. It's thriving. More seeds get planted because we're on that track. To give anything we don't prefer is this waiting, this seeking outside us, is not real. It's not real to wait for it to be fulfilled. Fulfillment is not out there. The moment you're waiting for fulfillment out there,
Mhm.
then that's non-fulfillment. Any moment that
Yeah.
you're not in fulfillment is non-fulfillment. You have either 2 choices, I am or I am not yet. And any time that you're waiting for anything to make you feel fulfilled, you're involuntarily affirming, "I am not yet," every single time. You know, and that again plants those seeds of I am not yet, which you experience, and then you reaffirm it, and then you experience it, and you reaffirm it. That's involuntary. That's being unconscious to what's going on. And you want to be conscious of what you're saying, you know, whatever you're saying, because that's going to reinforce what you're experiencing in yourself. Because it's only in yourself. Is infinite meanings. Only the meaning you prefer is what's real, because love is your true identity. That's all that's real. So lack can't be real because we always entertain more than who we are at all times, because love is infinite. So if love's infinite, then we're expansive because there's no, and that's your identity. So if love is infinite, we're going to have a mindset of being infinitely more. That's just our identity. It's our DNA. And you know it because you always prefer being fulfilled. You would never prefer not being fulfilled because that's not real. That's how you know it's not real, because you don't prefer not being fulfilled. So how
Yeah.
could lack be real? Because you don't prefer it. See, if we look in terms of a meaning and a memory, giving meaning to a memory that we don't prefer when there's infinite meanings, because your
Yeah.
infinite is love, then you know it can't be real. And
Yeah.
then you realize the delusion, you know? People say, you hear this expression, "Well, isn't it delusional to think that way?" No, it's actually delusional for you to
Yeah.
deliberately give a meaning that's not real.
It's, and it's all part of, like, a beautiful unfolding anyway to experience the ranges to be human, and only through experience can you really know how powerful you are, right? In that illusion of lack, I've had my most amazing, what some would say awakenings, but it's really I was actually reading, I shared it with you already, Mitch, the something that I write posts on Reddit because I find a lot of enjoyment, sharing my freedom with others so that they too can have this awareness. And it's a Neville Goddard forum where, sometimes people are a little frustrated. And one of the things I said was that to seek financial freedom is already illusory because there's nothing to seek out there because it's just your inner freedom that provides you with the experiences. Like, money's made up, you guys. Money's just paper. Like, the second that the world decides that money's no longer valuable, like, there's just numbers, like numbers on your screen and like paper that people are giving a value to. And it can very easily be like, well, we're not accepting this as a form of currency. What's going to happen to your brain? Like, you have to realize that you are the value. It is your wisdom, your experiences, the love that you already are that makes you worthy of continuous creation, right? And that's really what it is. So I always tell people, like, money doesn't even get you the experiences. Money's not your idol. It is what you can perceive within and be like, I want this experience. I want this experience. And then they come to you and through you. And that's what's so fun about it, right? So then you disempower something that most people are out in the world chasing. And somebody wrote back to me basically saying that somebody that has no support, like a single mother that has to feed their children, like how can I say that to them? That's not basically what they were implying, that it wasn't realistic. And I was like, the fact that somebody can think that they have no support is part of the illusion. Like that's the lie. We're always supported. We're always supported. We're always loved. We're always safe. Now we can let our attention get confused and go into those realms of like, again, not having enough, being afraid, people treating us bad, but it's a distorted illusion, because the second you come back to your present moment and you can rest in your heart and be like, you know what? I trust. I trust that everything's gonna get figured out. This bill has no more power than me. This housing situation, the eviction notice, whatever thing you think is inducing fear into your life, and you can sit and rest in your heart of peace and actually love and understand that you're always supported, the reality will change. Everything's gonna change. The person that you didn't like or didn't like you is gonna start loving you and supporting you. They're gonna pay all your bills, or the bills are gonna somebody's gonna come in and tell you the bill was already paid, and the landlord's gonna change the eviction notice. Because why? Because nothing was there to attack you until you accepted that. If you accept that the world's a scary place and there's not enough, it's gonna show up like that. But when you can
Mm.
receive that love for yourself and actually send it out, send the landlord love, send your fridge if it's empty, send the fridge love, see it full, you guys, because you're so powerful that you claiming my fridge is full when it's seemingly empty, magic is going to open up. I actually had this with a friend where she was concerned during COVID where she was gonna get money for her groceries. She had, she was a waitress, so her job was on pause during that time. And I talked her through it and I was like, hey, like everything's gonna work out. There's nothing to fear. She was like, I don't know what's gonna happen with the world. And I'm like, you do know what's gonna happen to the world because you're deciding. I am decided that I'm loved, safe, and supported. I'm decided that I'm safe and healthy. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world, you guys. So then, oh, my camera just moved. Come back. Oh, okay. So then what happened? She went to the park to relieve some stress, to go for a walk. She said, "Let me go around nature to be around, like trees to calm down." What ends up happening? She gets into the parking lot. There's a big truck giving out boxes upon boxes of groceries, like vegetables, fruits, rice, beans, chicken, whatever. And it wasn't just for the poor. It wasn't because you had to sign up to a government system. No, it was just she relaxed and boxes of food just were given to her, and it can truly be this easy, guys. It could truly be this easy where things show up for you because you're always supported.
Yeah, definitely. All we're ever really seeking, Steph, is fulfillment. That's all we're ever really seeking. No matter what it is. And this reactive to create this involuntary affirmation that, this is what's happening, that's what's happening. We should really learn from what happens in our own lives with many different things. Could be relationships, it could be when when we're sick and we get healthy. We should look back on these times and look at them as reference experience, because
Mhm,
if we don't reflect on them and look at times where we did
mhm,
overcome and
mhm,
gain and ground our faith. We have done it. We have done it. We have been successful. We have proven it, and look back on that. Then we can really use that as reference experience that, yeah, how did I overcome that? Oh, yeah, I did this, and that's how it happened. And, we get sick and then we get healthy. And looking back on that, we know we are going to get healthy. We know our bodies are always healing. We don't like figure out like, how am I get my body to heal? How am I going to get it? It's doing this 24 hours a day, and you've gone through it and you've healed over and over and over again. So you would never heal wanting to, say this is going to be forever, because we know that's not happened, right? The reference experience proves to us that it's not forever. We always get healthy all the time. And
mhm.
if we entertain that, because it's not real, right? It wouldn't be real to say this is permanent or this is gonna be forever. That is not real. Lack is not real. It's an illusion. I mean, you can say
Yeah,
it,
it really
and
is.
and then you expect and you could take this to any part of your life. All we're seeking it in this life, in our world is love, which is fulfillment. It doesn't We don't need the thing. We don't need to worship the thing to be fulfilled. We worship ourselves because it's infinite. Love is infinite. So that's why we go right back to it. Throw love at it. Throw love at ourselves. We It's infinite. We'll take it on. We'll take more of it. We'll never say no. And here's the other part I want to mention. Um, Neil Donald Walsh, in his book Conversations with God, has the wisdom he received was that God says yes to everything. Doesn't matter what you say. God says yes to everything. I am healthy. Yes. When's this going to happen? Yes. I don't know if this is going to happen. Yes. Everything is yes to everything. Rhonda Burns in The Secret says that your wish is my command. It's the same thing. You can do it any way you want. My wish is my command. I'm saying yes to everything. Our true name is I am, which is yes to everything. It's not I am not, it's I am. So you are affirming yes to everything. Involuntary affirmation, yes. Affirmation, yes. So that's why it's easy because you're saying yes to everything, and it's true. You believe it. You always believe what you entertain. So if you always believe what you entertain, that means yes. I entertain. This is what I think's gonna happen tomorrow. Yes, because you
Yeah.
experience it instantly. Anything you entertain, you experience. Anything you experience, you believe. And that's why, you focus on that, where you place your attention, where you place your energy, where you place your attention is where you place your energy. That's what forms into reality. Because you're just entertaining it all day long. And that's why worshiping yourself as the creator and not things created is your true power, because
Mhm.
love is infinite. So you're
Mhm.
essentially taking a source, a cause, like you turn a faucet on, right? It's flowing. It won't stop till you turn it off. But this love is always flowing. Always. You never have to say, well, I hope it keeps flowing. It just doesn't stop. There's no way to stop it. Just like effortless believing, there's no way to stop it. If you hear praise, you entertain someone's praising you, you can't stop it because
Mhm.
that's what love is. It's like a faucet that's flowing. You can't turn it off. That's why it's effortless believing. So it's infinite. You're really drawing on the infinite, being yourself, and that's why really worshiping yourself as the creator is the only reality. It's all that's real. And when you realize this through reference
Mhm.
experience, then you can reflect on that confidence in yourself. It's called believing in yourself. And that's what reflecting on that is learning to know that, yeah, I've done that. I felt great. And I went through this thing. I finally did it. I finally surrendered and I felt great. It always leads back to you. So you're always seeking yourself every single time. And it's this finally awakening to realize it's been me the whole time. That's the wisdom.
Yep. There's two examples that kind of came to mind while you were sharing that wisdom, because sometimes the reflection will like test you. We kind of spoke about it about contrast, but have fun with it. Like play with it, you guys. Things always work out for you. If you can see it in your mind's eye, it's already meant for you. God says yes to everything. So, for example, when I wanted to get this apartment, for me, it was my first ocean view apartment. So I didn't have a reference point, right? So I had to push through my own expectation of my awareness expectation. So I was like, okay, I can believe this into being. But when I first started applying or looking for places that had an ocean view, either they were outside of the budget I had set for myself, or the one of the things that I noticed, I went to a place and it was a very tiny apartment. It was a studio, and I had a very distant, tiny little water view. It wasn't like next to it; it was distant, but I was happy with it because in my head I was like, I have my manifestation. I'm gonna get a water view, and the next one's gonna be better. Um, the way the story unfolded was that my realtor and the realtor of the place, if you're not familiar, there's usually a conversation between two realtors and they have to agree in signing and creating the contract or the application first. The realtor that was in charge of that apartment became extremely aggressive for some reason. He did not want to share the responsibilities, or he just didn't communicate well with my realtor. And like a really dramatic situation happened where there was a lot of screaming between the two, which was really unprofessional. But I already understood at that time that everything works out for me. And I knew that if something out of the ordinary, which was dramatic aggression in front of me, it wasn't, it was because I'm not supposed to be there. So that entire day, I had fallen in love with this tiny studio and I had really clung on to it. But yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm bigger than any of this. Like, I could have been like, yeah, for sure, I'm gonna live there. But I was like, you know what? Things always work out for me. Things always get better. I don't care. So then what ended up happening was that the day after, or like a few days after, I went into another building and I found apartments with even more amazing views, except now they were directly in front of the balcony, right? Like breathtaking. Every single room had ocean views. And I was like, oh my God, and they were more into my budget. But then the first application I put in was, was asking for more information and it was taking longer. And so the day after, what ended up happening is that this apartment came into the market, like, miraculously because it was under lease, but for some reason, the person living had to leave because they had pets, and it was just, like, the most bizarre thing, right? Like, it appeared out of nowhere, it wasn't even listed, I only got it or was able to see it because I was in the building at that time. So, all those seeming blocks or annoyances for most people led me to the extremely best option at the moment. So, I got upgraded by, like, it's like 4 times better than what I had originally imagined, you know? So, yeah, so that's what I wanna share with you guys where
Mm.
things always work out for you. Like, there's no need to be desperate and obsessive over something external, like, "It has to be this or I'm gonna die." No, like, "Alright, let me open up my infinite possibility awareness where it could just fall in my lap even better."
Mhm. Yeah, I would reflect that's a great story, and I would reflect on whenever you decide to change the energy of anything, the contrast, then, the energy outside you changes, and it's always cause and effect. You always notice it after, right? You always notice a
Mhm.
change
Mhm.
after you entertain a new energy because love is your identity, and you entertain love or fulfillment. That's the same thing. And you notice that synchronicities happen. Now, in your case, Steph, you notice the synchronicity of the person that was there and unusual, unexplained circumstances, and not figuring out the how. And you allow infinite ways to unfold because there's infinite ways. There's no only one way. And if you don't see that one way, then you're reactive and then you make another involuntary affirmation again. But you know what? Thrive on the changes because if it happened after, then you know that God within you is working with you. Since there's only God in this world and his ways are higher than our ways. My father is greater than I. So there's ways that we can't even contemplate.
You know?
Weird thing. And all we could do is laugh at it. It's like we just see creation unfolding. And it's
Exactly.
very exciting. It's very exciting to see how these synchronicities happen, and it's just kind of cool. I was talking to you earlier this day about my friend, and it's funny. It's just really funny. I can go into it. It's a long story, but it's just really funny how those synchronicities happen. Then when you realize the unexpected happens, then you know that it's always in your favor. God only means good. God says
Exactly.
yes. There's only good and very good. And the reason why that's in the Bible, there's only good and very good because there's no polarity. There's no good and
Yeah.
bad. There's no good and bad. That's an illusion.
Yeah.
Bad is not real. So that's why it's only good and very good. What appears to be bad is actually what's working for you. There's actually
Yeah.
something in the Bible that says, "You meant evil against me, but God only meant it for good." That's what the quote
That's
unquote
so
bad really
pretty.
means.
That's awesome. It's so pretty, and not carrying that energy, right? Like, not carrying that disturbance, send that person love. That's what I did. Like, if I know now that there's no way somebody can act negatively towards me unless it's for my own benefit and redirection. So if somebody is really adamant, like, no, like, like that man that was not behaving in the kindest way, I sent him love. What am I gonna sit at home and be like, "Oh, that terrible person is such a jerk, and
Mhm.
I couldn't get my apartment because of him." I was like, "You know what? I wish him well." Because you're releasing it from your own, like, energetic body, which is kinda, like, also part of the illusion, but you're removing it from your awareness, right? You're not tethering it to it anymore. You're like, "You know what? Yeah, like, this was not meant for me."
Yeah, you're really
And,
sur yeah, you're really letting it go. Doctor David Hawkins has a book called Letting Go. You're just letting go
yeah,
what you don't prefer. It's not really you, and you're bringing the love in. If you let go of the resistance, what else remains? Love. You're
yep,
purifying, that's the alchemy, as they say. You're just purifying beliefs. You're letting go of what's not really true. It's an illusion. It feels real, but it's not, because then you realize that only what you prefer is real. And then love just comes right in. And then it's like, what happened? I don't even know why I was thinking that. It's really funny how the mind
yeah.
works. I mean, there's only love. When you realize there's only love, it just comes down to what we say all along, Steph. It's easy because love is easy. Love is infinite, infinite supply, and that's why it's the source.
I know we have to go soon, but just to finish up this whole
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
conversation,
sure.
my I was thinking about how interesting it is that something that was supposed to receive commands from us, the brain, right? The brain we're supposed to lead the brain, so it's kinda like being the boss of owning a business, but then
Mm,
always asking your employees for approval, like, "Hey, like, what do you think about this? What do you think?
mm,
Is it okay? Is it okay if I do this? Is it okay?" And then whatever feedback you're getting from, let's say, if you work with a bunch of teenagers, right? Everybody's intelligent in their own right, but I'm saying this from a basis of experience, right? So, like, if somebody doesn't know, there's an echo of like, no, like insecurity, right? Like, this is wrong, this is right, I don't know what to do, whatever. So, how could the leader of a company, not lead, right? So then asking your brain your thoughts for permission is kind of like the same thing. Like, how are we asking such a limited brain that's helped us so far, but, does not have the power of creation. Your thoughts don't really have the power of creation. They
mm.
receive they can receive insight from the vision you have already chosen. You choose a vision and then, you start putting them together and something beautiful can come. But yeah, I just think it's so interesting, like
It's so true. I heard a great quote. Um, that, God within you is he's like your employer. You're really running a business, just like you said, Steph. You're running a business of your mind. So you're running a business of your mind. You would only say things that are thriving to it. You would only say things that are feeding it what you prefer. My business is thriving. My world is thriving. Everyone around me is thriving. You're running a business of your mind. You're a responsibility to yourself because love is your identity. So it's actually an easy business when you really think about it.
it is supposed
It's
to
an
be
easy
easy.
business. How could you not have a business of love, right? I mean, business of love, it should be easy and it's fun. It's a playground. So you're entertaining the playground being your business. That's all your business is because all your desire is being fulfilled. It's
Yeah.
not the things. The things are just symbols of fulfillment. You get the car, the house, the vacation. Okay. Now I'm fulfilled. It's just it's a symbol of fulfillment. It doesn't define you. All you're ever seeking in this world is fulfillment. So it all goes back to you. You're really the business of your mind. Actually, there was a word. Oh gosh, there was a great quote about the business of running your mind. I have to get that. We'll get that next time. Um, I think it was mind my own business, but I'll get it next time. But it's a really
That sounds
great
like a
quote.
clever name.
Yeah, yeah. Mind your business. Oh, mind your business. Oh yeah, I think that's what it was. Mind your business. So the mind is your business. So mind your
Yeah.
business. Mind is your business, or mind your own business, something to that effect. That your mind is your business. So mind your own business. I think that's really what it was, and it
Yeah.
was really cool because you're always minding your own business. It is a business of the mind. It's mind. Mind is truly mind. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like you're disrespecting me. Mind your own business. You're minding your business, and then that's why it's truly you are the boss of your business. And when you realize you're empowered by it, and you're feeding yourself fulfillment while you're minding your business, you it's like the ultimate business, right?
Yeah. Yep. I think I have a good idea for what we can speak on the next video. Guys, we're gonna continue making these videos. We're having so much fun, and I love that I have Mitch to reflect ideas and bounce them off back and forth. It's more fulfilling to me at the moment than making my own videos by myself, which was fun until it was fun then, and now I'm we're having these conversations. So if you have any comments, questions, again, our contact information, if you want support or guidance from either him or me, you can find their contact information and then also Mitch's link along with my own. And we'll catch you next time talking more about amazing, liberating, topics. Something that just came to mind, Mitch. What would you want, like an affirmation or something that you want to end this video with that can
Mm,
leave our viewers with?
gosh,
Sorry to put you on the spot. I was
uh,
thinking about that right now because I was like, you know what? If you didn't understand the whole video or you didn't really want to watch the whole thing, what I want you to take from this is it always works out.
mm,
Always, always, always. And
yeah,
I'm
that's a
carrying
good
this as
one.
my truth and it's going to be your truth. It always
Yeah,
works out for me and it always works out for you. I promise.
yeah, and you're infinitely loved, adored, cherished, chosen, sensational, spectacular. Certainly anything in love here is who you are, and infinite love. I'm infinitely always guided by myself. I'm always infinitely fulfilled by myself every time, and it's easy. Um, it's easy being me. I love being me. I think that if when you start a new journey, you could even say, "I love my new life. I love being me. I love my new life. I love being me." And that new life allows you that clean slate of now being as I am and entertaining what you prefer. And that way it kind of gives you kind of a new man perspective. We have the old man thinking and the new man thinking. I love my new life. I love being me. And then hearing you say that knows that you're a new man or a new person or a new woman or a new man. I love my new life. I love being me because there only is love. And when you look from it as a new perspective from love, I love my new life. I love being me. You're correlating love with your new life, and there only is love. And I think that in that perspective, you could have that new, clean slate of
Mhm.
thinking from being loved.
Yeah, and I always say this, the present moment is the reset button. Like, it doesn't have to be an extensive, transformation, guys, it's right now. It's right now, just decide, that's it. Decide, and then when you see the opposite, you're like, "Nope, that's not me anymore." That's it.
You're right.
Alright, everyone. Sending everyone so much love. Again, feel free to contact us, leave us comments. We appreciate you so much and love you, and have an amazing day, week, life, forever. Okay. Bye.
I